Hello and welcome to the Learning Cafe at Skill Tiger. In today's conversation, we have with us Mr. Uttam Kudva, a veteran with 25 years of experience in the manufacturing domain. Over all these years, Uttam has had diverse roles, as diverse as sales, product management, business development, quality, and even Six Sigma.
Uttam is a certified Six Sigma black belt and an internal auditor for ISO 2001 16949 process. Another unique thing about him is that he has expertise and experience both in B2B sales processes as well as channel sales environment. As a person, he likes reading, is a big movie buff, and is actively involved in honorary work in the local community.
As we converse with Uttam today and get to understand the manufacturing sector, especially the bearings or the rotating solutions business, we look forward to focus on areas such as sales and key account management and understand how we can adapt to and make our careers in such a segment. Good morning, Uttam, and welcome to our Learning Cafe at Skill Tiger. It's a great pleasure to have you on board, and our learners are eager and excited to listen to your experiences and learn from you.
Very much, Rahul, and very good morning to you and to all the learners on Skill Tiger. It's a pleasure being here, and I'm really hopeful that our conversation will be of value to all the learners.
Yeah, thank you, Uttam. And to start with, we understand that you come from a couple of decades of background into industrial businesses, where you've looked at diverse industries within the industrial businesses, and over the last a few years or a decade, you have spent a lot of time in bearing and rotating solution equipment industry. What we would like to understand from you is a bit of a context of your own experience and also the context of the current business that you are in.
Right. I've had both industrial as well as automotive experience. And in the industrial space, I worked with hydraulic equipment manufacturers, carbide tool manufacturer, lubricant manufacturer, and currently I am with the bearing and equipment organization. So in my current organization, I'm in the industrial space, and here it on a wide spectrum, in the sense we have products which are run-of-the-mill products and which could be all even classified as commodities. And at the high end, we have highly engineering products which are large in not only in terms of size, complexity, but also value, and which are very, very critical for a customer's equipment or a plant running efficiently. So, there, what happens is not just about supplying a product, it's about ensuring that the customer receives the best possible value from the purchase, and the equipment in which our bearings or our solutions are running faultlessly, because they are very, very critical, and it could be the impact of any failures could be very, very high, or they could be even devastating. So that's how critical things can get.
Yeah, so what I understand from you is that you are in a business which is critical to your customers, where their production and their output is fairly dependent upon the reliability that you provide, the kind of costs that you operate in, etc., etc. I have a high degree of impact on them. What we would like to know is that who actually are these customers? What segments do you operate in, and who could be the typical people your CAMs would interact with at the customer organization?
Right. On the industrial side, Rahul, the key segments of any economy, like which measure an economy's progress or growth, such as steel, traditional power like thermal power, oil and gas, fertilizer, chemical. So all organizations which operate in the space form a bulk of our customers, and within them the important ones who are operating in that space form our key accounts. Our CAMs interact with multiple stakeholders within an organization. It could be the point would be the purchase department of the customer's organization, followed by if it's an OEM, then it would be the design department. If it's an end user, then it would be the maintenance or the production people on shore. Then there will definitely be the customer's finance department in terms of ensuring that the payments are realized at the end of a sales cycle. Last but not the least, having a meaningful interaction with the key accounts or customers, top management is also very, very important. So they are also a very important stakeholder for the CAMs, and with CAMs and our own organizations, top management interact with.
Yeah. So what I'm essentially trying to portray is that these are all critical applications which go into your customers, into segments that are also very, very crucial for the economy to function very well. And at the same time, in the organization itself, there are a diverse set of people that your CAM needs to manage, be it the procurement to the end user or your top management, and various people which they need to manage. I'm sure the CAM himself has a slightly more complex role. While at one end of the spectrum you've got the external stakeholders and the customers that you manage, there would be equal amount of management that needs to be done internally as well, because the solutions themselves don't appear to be simple. So, what kind of internal maneuvering does the CAM require to do?
Firstly, Rahul, the CAM has to play a key facilitator role in ensuring that the meaningful interaction his own organization's top management and the customer's top management. That's very, very important. And the CAM is a key player there. Secondly, the purchase department of customer's organization is the first touch point, but they actually act on the requirements given by either by the technical department or the user department. And it's not necessary that CAM himself would be able to provide the necessary information or the necessary solutions. In which case, then the CAM is dependent on stakeholders within his own organization, which is the design or the product development or the application engineer, to come out and help him to interact with the customer or engage them with the customer's stakeholders in ensuring that whatever are their requirements are addressed, or whatever are their technical queries addressed. So this so within the CAM's own organization, these are some of the internal players with whom he has to liaise or he has to coordinate. And at the end of a sales cycle, where commercial issues to be resolved in terms of, say, payments or taxation related issues, then probably he might have to engage his own finance department people, customers finance or purchase departments.
Yeah, this looks, Uttam, like a complete value chain where it starts from the end customer, where you start looking at the needs of the end customers, to solutioning, where you've got technical inputs coming in, to you talk about commercials, maybe legal, and maybe even your procurement teams, which is there. So it's like a continuous value chain where the CAM has to move up and down and manage and facilitate this whole engagement. One of the things we would be keen to know is that how does he go about doing it? Do you follow certain processes? Is there some kind of a methodology behind it, or what activities does CAM do to ensure that all those things are well coordinated?
Uh, what I have seen, Rahul, is that uh, any successful CAM uh, program has to first have a proper structure, and most importantly, it has to have the buy-in of the top management of the seller organization. And there are various methodologies and there are various camps, but the most successful ones are where the management has a clear vision as to who their key accounts are, or the clear knowledge of who the key accounts are. The selection is very, very critical. And then adopting a structured program to ensure that uh, uh, it's not only the camp, but the entire organization is synced in such a way that you're tuned to the customer's needs, and all your actions are coordinated in such a way that it is helping the key account as well as your own business. And to do that, one part of it, which is the how you go about selecting it, is a different topic altogether. Once the selection is done, there has to be a clear mapping of the customer's business. There has to be a short term, medium term, and long term, visibility for how they are going to perform. So that knowledge is very, very critical, which the seller organization, strategy department, or their marketing and communication department together can provide as an input to the CAM. But it's for the CAM to go out onto the field, or interact with the customer, and get the granular details as to which are the projects or which are the businesses they are in, what is the outlook for these businesses, how are they going to be performing in the medium term and long term. So that is one aspect of it. And then coming down to the product level, having a clear mapping of what are the products that the customer needs or services that the customer needs vis-a-vis what is it that we have, which we can offer, which we're currently not offering, or what is it that we need to develop and offer to them, which will give us a good share of business. Or if we have a current share of businesses which is not that profitable, what is it that we need to do to make it more profitable, to improve the customer's profitability, right? So these are some of the steps. Once that is done and you have a plan in place, then it's all about the execution. And for that, you have this CRM tools. You have methods or tools for your opportunity, for prospect pipeline creation, and then opportunity mapping. And then it's all about execution rigor. How does management and CAMs, how they based on what is the study of the opportunities, how you are actually addressing those opportunities, creating um, value propositions out, and how we able to convert those opportunities into those. That's how the actual planning to execution cycle would look like. Put it in a very generalized way.
Uttam, one very key sentence which I heard from you, and which we would be keen to know, is that you said that the choice of the account is very, very important. I mean, who is your key account and how do you choose those key accounts? If you could just throw some light on, what would be those key factors or parameters to make the choice right, and why is it very important? Because typically we say customer is a customer. You just go accumulating customers. What you're saying is that a choice for a camp program is really important. So why do you say that? And what are the factors?
Uh, See, Rahul, any CAM program requires a deployment of huge amount of time and resources, right? So and it's empirically it's been proven that the 80-20 rule applies everywhere. So 20% of your customers are going to give you 80% of the businesses. Now, logically, probably they would definitely be the right choice for your CAM programs, but understanding what the business outlook for this customer is, and you can have different, set of customers within, in the sense, let's say you are say a component supplier, and you are doing very well supplier with Tata Motors, right? But you know that your share of business is very low in Maruti. Okay. Now, Maruti has, say, let's say more than 50% of the market segment space. And if you're not present there, then it's very important as a component supplier that you choose Maruti, and you figure out that, I need to be present here, and what is it that I need to do to get in here and get a profitable business or a consistent business going. So that Maruti would probably become your choice for a cam, right? So you know for sure that that this company has been a market leader for the last 3 to 4 decades, and that's the way they're going to be in the near future. Other than that could be that, let's say you have a Tesla coming into India, and you are in a space where, if you're already operating with a conventional automobile manufacturer, but you have something which you can offer to a Tesla, then it naturally, it's a no-brainer that you might have to, do your best to ensure that you become a supplier to Tesla, or you have a long-term business with them. So that's why that's what I mean when I say that selection of the key account is very, very important. And as far as the outlook is concerned, then you need to go ahead and see how they're going to be, what is the past track record, and what their plans are, and is there a possibility that you can consistently grow with them, or if there is a consistent business, then going back to the drawing board and see what is our relation, how are we placed with them, how do they perceive us, what is it that we have done good, what is it that we can do better. So these are the things that you need to sit and ask yourself when you go out and start executing.
I think this is a very important aspect of CAM, Uttam. I mean, what I can hear and what I can understand is that it's at prima facie, you're looking at an 80-20 rule where your large accounts are your typical CAM accounts. However, there are layers. You're talking about potential which can be achieved where you're not there, or your strengths that can be leveraged to somebody else who's entering the market, or you're at one point saying that, how are we perceived vis-a-vis competition. So there are various layers to go and choose your account, and that makes it significantly critical because significant investments, resources are going to be deployed here, and maybe your next few years are going to be dependent on the choices that you make today. That sense. So quite an important aspect of what you're trying to bring to the table. Another area where we would want to understand is that your CAM is straddling right from acquisition of accounts, selection of accounts, to acquisition of accounts, recommendation of the solutions, to executing them. It's a whole range of activities which is done. There are a lot of challenges they would face, in the whole journey. What are those typical challenges they face, and how do you prepare them for handling these challenges and coming out successful?
Within a department, you could have people who are favorable to you. You have people who are influential, but who are probably who are neutral, who are just not involved. And there are people who are detractors for the simple reason that they perceive your competition to be better, or the solutions offered by your competition to be better, or they have had better experiences with the competition. They do not like you. There could be various reasons, So the first, the key challenge is that identifying all the stakeholders, and then ensuring that you leverage the people who are in favor, leverage your relationship with the people who are in favor of you to the business benefit of your businesses. Those who are neutral, you try to make them more favorable towards you, and those who are, I would not use the word neutralize, but you need to do something to ensure that they do not affect your business, right? So that's very important. Another other important challenges could be, there could be changes within the organization structure. There could be changes in their businesses. Something which you always need to keep, turning back and looking for is what the competitors is doing. Because if you're talking about a CAM, most likely it's going to be a large organization, a very reputed organization with large amount of potential, and there would be a lot of people, already operating along with you, other horses in the race, or there could be a horde of, wannabe competitors who are, banging on the door. So how you make yourself stand out and, in the din and tell the customer, that, I'm the only one there for you, and make him, convince him to do that. That's a very, very important of the camp's job role, or that's what makes a great camp, differentiates a great camp.
So Uttam, I can understand the wide complexities that the CAM needs to handle. The ball has moved from looking at only relationship to adding value to your customers, or probably, as you put it, getting into a close bonding with the customer to ensure that that kind of value is unlocked. And it's not only about value to the customer, but also value that you generate internally for yourselves. Uh, One of the key aspects of running a program, because there are significant investments, resources are deployed, etc., would be the measurement of the efficacy. So how do you measure the efficacy? What kind of factors or what kind of parameters do you evaluate? And then eventually, how do you communicate, whether it is internally, externally, saying that how your program is running in that sense? So could you throw some light on that?
Yeah. Uh, Rahul, as far as measurement is concerned, I mean, measurement is very, very important. You can't prove something which you cannot measure. And the starting point of any particular camp program is you where you are, and then you know where you want to go. And measurement tells you, how your progress is happening, right? So first is you're measuring is, it could be, and measurement can be on different factors. It could be qualitative, it has to be quantitative, importantly, no doubt, but it can be qualitative also. When you talk about the quantitative part, it's about first is, you when you start, how much your share of business is and how much money or what's your customer's profitability is currently. So, and the second part is how your, how many of their projects or how many of their businesses, available businesses you are in. So the measurement would be as the camp program unfolds or it progresses, how is this move? That will be done through, structured reviews within the seller organization where even the top management is involved. So how the share of business, how the profitability is moving, very important. Another aspect is with which you can measure is if you're talking about a customer who is developing products or has projects, how many of the RFQs or requests for proposals are coming to you? You among the first ones who are asked about it. It's a great indicator, if the first right of refusal is being given to you. So that's one of the ways to measure. Uh, uh, how many solutions you are offered to the customer, which have any documented solutions which has offered significant benefits to the customer, which has been acknowledged by him, by the customer, by him or her. So that's very, very important. So these are some of the key performance indicators, which help you to clear feel as to how your relationship is progressing. And when you talk about the qualitative aspect, it's what is the level of your interaction, organization interaction, and what level are you interacting? Is it only at the CAM level? Is it at the senior management level? Or is it not only this, but at the top level also? How, I would not say frequent is not really important, but whatever, is there a defined frequency of, these meetings? And are these interactions meaningful? Because that gives you a clear sense. That's qualitative. It gives you understanding, how is our relationship with how the seller organization relationship with the customer. And yeah, that's that would sum up, so I put it in basically two broad buckets: qualitative and quantitative.
Yeah, I think the picture is very clear, Uttam. You're talking about qualitative parameters which have got direct business impact, such as, can I have good better share of wallet, or what's my growth within the account, or what kind of profitability do I derive out of this whole engagement. So these are some of the quantitative ones that you spoke about. qualitative is a very interesting facet that I think you've brought to the table, that it's not only about numbers, but also about the value and the quality of engagement that you have at the senior level, at the operational level, etc. So quite an interesting way to look at it. Uh, yeah. Over the last, 10, 15 minutes, we have discussed a lot about, the business, the role that the CAM has played, etc., etc. And I'm sure our learners have gained a lot over this period. One thing, of course, with your experience and with your expertise and your domain, expertise over this, uh, I would want you to leave some kind of a message to our learners saying that how do they go about building their own careers in an environment or a business environment such as yours, like which is more of technical and more of looking at straddling various facets of business and cementing relationships with customers and adding value at the same time. So how do you what should a budding camp do to equip themselves to handle such environments?
Um, Rahul, I would say the first thing would be that somebody who's aspiring to be a CAM um, has to let go of the need for instant gratification. Because being a CAM can be is a very, very long haul, number one. Number two, they need to be prepared for facing constant uncertainty. Uh, because today business is very, very dynamic, and changes happen very, very fast. So being able to operate in an environment of uncertainty, being able to be a little nimble and agile is definitely very, very helpful. Uh, Having some sort of a knowledge that you could be operating in this environment is very important. So being prepared for it, definitely helps. Although the actual learning comes when you really operate in this environment. Third is a very important aspect of being a CAM is being inherently interested in people and in being, building relationships. But most importantly, you need to keep you need to further your organization's interest while ensuring that the customer's interests are not harmed or, lessened in any way. So these are some of the things that a prospective or a budding CAM needs to keep in mind. And
yeah, thank you, Uttam. I think the last 15-20 minutes that we spent with you, the kind of information that you have shared with us, your experience, your domain expertise, uh, you've guided our learners as to how they can think through if they would want to make their foray into key account management role, uh, and even if and not necessarily into manufacturing or industrial businesses itself. I mean, this is relevant for most of the businesses which are complex, where you need to straddle external internal environments, where you need to look at the big picture. And one interesting thing that you spoke about is patience. There's no instant gratification in such roles. So I think some of those things were very, very insightful. Our learners definitely would benefit from this interaction. And I do sincerely hope that the learners are able to appreciate and absorb whatever you've brought to the table. Big thank you again, and good luck for you for your endeavors in future as well.
So it was my pleasure, Rahul. Thanks once again for having me, and all the best to the Skill Tiger learners. Cheers.
Thank you.